Warning, this video may contain so much sackiness that you may be getting teabagged in the process of viewing this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. My name is FiveNights, Duelist, and today I'm bringing you another sacky deck. This one is Melodious. Now, Melodious is an archetype that I've been messing around for quite some time on DevPro, and I've liked a lot of their combinations that they have for the deck. So without any further ado, here we go. So, first card I chose only at 1, because any more than that, it's kind of a bad brick hand, is Sopina the Melodious Maestra. Once per turn, you can target one light fairy type monster in your graveyard, add it to hand, and then you cannot activate cards that are non-light monster effects during the turn you activate this effect. So, we put her at 1. Then we have 2 copies of Score. Score acts like Honest, but instead of increasing, it affects your opponent's monster to where their attack becomes 0. And defense as well, until the end of the turn. So it's pretty helpful getting you out of bad stages. But with this build, you don't really have to worry about that. That's more of just like toying with your opponent, pouring on the salt, as they say. Then we have 2 copies of LG. Whenever LG is special summoned, all fairy type monsters gain 300 attack, and Melodious monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. So she is a 2000. When she's special summoned, she becomes 23, plus she has the protection, which goes along with Aria, which I will tell you later on. Then we have 2 Mozarta. Mozarta's effect is once per turn you can special summon 1 light fairy type monster from your hand. So it's pretty useful getting out LG, or you can get out Aria with this card effect, and that way your monsters cannot be targeted by a card effect or destroyed in battle, which is this card right here. The one I was telling you about was Aria. Next, we have 3 copies of Cannon. Cannon basically is just a special summon effect. Her other effect isn't too useful most of the time, which is you target one Melodious monster you control and change its battle position. But other than that, it's a really good special summon effect to where you can just tribute and get out Mozarta or Sopina. Next, we have 3 copies of Solo. Solo acts as a Cyber Dragon, but with benefits. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this little monster from your hand, and then when it's destroyed, you can special summon any level Melodious monster from your deck except for another Solo. Again, another combo that I will tell you later on in the video. Next, we have the last 3, which is 3 Sonata. Sonata, you can special summon from hand automatically if you control another face-up Melodious monsters. And all fairy type monsters gain 500 attack and defense. Now, for the combos that I was going to show you, it goes a little something like this. You have 2 Solos in hand, and your opponent has like a 1900 attack monster, or whatever. Well, in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, life points really don't matter now, so you might as well get out your advantage where you can. You special the Solo, then you normal summon the other one, destroy the first one, special summon out, where is it? LG, and then LG has a protection to where it cannot be destroyed by card effects, so you automatically ram your last Solo into the monster again, taking more damage, but special summoning out Aria. Now, this is the deck lockdown. Basically, it works like this. Aria, whenever she's special summoned, your opponent cannot target Melodious monsters by card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by battle. LG protects it from being destroyed by card effects. So, you're going to have to find another way around it. So far, I haven't found anybody who could beat this lock. So, if you know how to beat it, comment in the section down below. I would love to see your guys' comments about it. Now on to the spells of the deck. We have 3 copies of Polymerization, because this is just a basic fusion Saki type Melodious Stall deck. Then we have 2 copies of Transmodify. This card is going up in price because of the ABC monsters that are coming out. Basically what it does is you send 1 face-up monster you control to the graveyard, special summon from your deck 1 monster with the same type and attribute. Which is basically you special summon Cannon, get out Elegy. Or you can do the same thing with Sopina, but get out Mozarta. Pretty basic stuff. And on top of that, there's a lot more combos in this deck, but I don't know if I could remember half of them, but if I do, I will tell you here in a second. 3 copies of First Movement. Basically, it is your reinforcements, but it special summons your Melodious monster from deck to the field, and you can only activate it once per turn, and on top of that, you can control no monsters. But it's always a good first move when getting out a solo to get out your Aria. Then you have 2 copies of Solidarity, because all your monsters are the same type, so they will all gain 800 more attack. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy back row, but back row is not a problem with Melodious, because they cannot be targeted or destroyed by battle or card effect. So, yay! And then you have the 1 Book of Moon just to add salt into the wound of your opponent and piss them off even further. Then we have the trap cards. Pretty basic lineup, 3 pinpoint guard just in case your opponent figures out how to get ready your Aria, you can just bring it back. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Then we have Double Call the Haunted, 1 Compulse, Bottomless, and Warning. Now where the fun starts to happen is in the extra deck. Very short in number, but it gets the job done. We have 3 copies of Shuberta. You can target up to 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard or your graveyard, banish them, and she gains 200 additional attack. She just requires 2 Melodious monsters to get onto the field, and she's a 2400 starting out. And then the last is Bloom Prima. She requires a Melodious Maestra and a Melodious Monster. So that's why I built it with just 3 Maestras in the deck. Any more than that's kind of cloggy. But your Bloom Diva here gains 300 additional attack for each fusion material that you used with it. Plus, on top of that, she can attack twice. And on top of that, if she hits the graveyard, which is rare, you will add 1 Melodious monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Now pouring on the salt with this side deck. 3 Bad Aim. Bad Aim, it's a common hidden jewel type card. Not a lot of people use it. I don't see why, because it's such a good card. What it does is when your opponent's card or effect is activated, target 1 card other than the card that activated its effect and destroy it. So it gets rid of a lot of bad crap early in the game. Then we have 2 Damage Condenser. Damage Condenser is an old card, but a good card. Whenever you would take damage, you could discard a card and special summon 1 monster from your deck with an attack less than or equal to the damage you took from that battle in attack position. So, just in case you don't have an Aria or a Mazarda to defend your life points, you can activate Damage Condenser and save your ass from the rest of the damage. Then, of course, we have an additional score, 1 more Mazarda, and LG. Because sometimes, if you want to go more fusion offensive, you switch into these cards right here. Then we have 1 Soprano. Just in case you don't go into polymerization, you can just fusion summon, sending this and another Melodious monster from the field to the graveyard. And then, of course, 2 Honest. That's basically the whole deck profile, but I want to show you a couple combos with this deck real quick. Of course, you already know about the 2 solos. I'll go ahead and get out a decent hand here to show you guys. Okay, so this rarely happens, but just in case it would ever happen, because it just depends on how you shuffle your deck. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Okay, so your hand consists of 1 warning, 2 solos, a cannon, a Sonata, and 1 LG. Now the deck is going to work a little bit like this when you use your hand. You're going to special the first solo, then normal summon the second. Then you're going to go into battle. You ram the first solo into your opponent's monster. She dies, of course. Make sure the monster doesn't have too much attack, otherwise it's going to suck on your end. Special out the LG. Now with the second solo, you ram it again. Special out your aria. That completes the loop. Then during your main phase 2, you can go ahead and special out a cannon and a sonata. Now that sonata's on the field and cannon's on the field, they cannot be targeted by card effects, destroyed by battle, or destroyed by card effects. And on top of that, all your Melodious monsters now have an additional 300, no, I take that back, 800 more attack and 500 more defense. Sorry, it's been a while since I used this deck, but you get the gist of it. And then you just set your Solemn Warning, and that's basically it. It's a field control deck. It's very slow at first, but when it catches up, you win pretty quickly. My name is FiveNights Duelist. I hope you all enjoy this deck profile. Comment, rate, subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys back in the darkness.